What if I told you that there's a story you've heard your entire life, thinking it was just a lie, just some made-up tale to scare you as a kid? But what if I told you that this story is way more real, way darker than anyone ever had the courage to tell you? And maybe, after hearing this, you'll never walk down the street feeling safe again. And you'll never look the same way at that strange old man you sometimes pass without thinking twice. You know, there's something that's always haunted me. Why is it that when we're kids, our parents insist on repeating those strange, creepy warnings? If you don't behave, the old man with the sack will come for you, they'd say, half joking, but never fully joking. As kids, it just felt like nonsense, another silly threat to keep us in line. But what if this story didn't come out of nowhere? What if it's actually a watered-down version of something that really happened? That's exactly what you're about to discover here. The truth, raw, unfiltered, and deeply disturbing. Because what I'm about to tell you, love, isn't just some urban legend. It's a story that over the years has been twisted, buried, maybe even erased on purpose. So no one would ever know how close this horror might actually be to us. Picture this: a tiny, isolated village, surrounded by dense, suffocating woods. The kind of place where everyone knows each other's name, where any strange movement doesn't go unnoticed. Now imagine that in this peaceful little village, things start happening, things that make no sense. Children disappearing, just like that, gone. No footprints, no sounds, no signs of struggle, nothing, except for one chilling clue. Locals whisper that they saw someone, an old man, always the same old man, dragging a sack that looked way too heavy. That's exactly what you're about to discover here. The truth, raw, unfiltered, and deeply disturbing. Because what I'm about to tell you, love, isn't just some urban legend. It's a story that over the years has been twisted, buried, maybe even erased on purpose. So no one would ever know how close this horror might actually be to us. And here's where it gets even more disturbing. Because these stories, they aren't new. They didn't start yesterday or last week, or even last decade. Number these whispers, Gambuda. Go back decades, maybe centuries. And the most terrifying part, the deeper you dig into this, the more you realize this story wasn't born to simply scare children. It was a warning, a desperate attempt to protect without telling the full horrifying truth. Have you ever noticed that every legend has a beginning? No story just appears out of thin air. There's always that first event, that original moment where everything starts. And with the tale of the old man with the sack, that moment is so much darker than anyone ever imagined. Because we're not talking about some ghost, not some demon, not some mythical creature made up to scare kids. We're talking about someone real, flesh and bone, but with a mind twisted far beyond anything human. Maybe right now, you think I'm exaggerating. Maybe in your head this is just another creepy internet story. Another viral video meant to get views. But let me ask you something. Have you ever wondered why almost every country has its own version of this exact story? Always the same pattern: an old man, a sack, and a missing child. You really think that's just a coincidence? And this is the part that hits the hardest. Because the deeper you pull at this thread, the more you start finding old police reports, forgotten newspaper clippings, witness testimonies buried in time. And they're all the same. Every single one. All silenced. All swept under the rug. Because at the end of the day, who would ever want to admit that the scary story parents told their kids was actually true? And that's when the cold reality sets in. While you were laughing, thinking this was just a dumb childhood memory of somewhere right now, someone is still carrying that sack. And no, it's not empty. If this gave you chills, if this messed with your head even a little, drop a comment down below saying I'm here. I want to know who's really ready to hear what comes next. Because from this point on, it only gets worse.